This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
This
Just
is
stop.
a sham.
You all ready for this? Dun, 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 dun.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Monday, everybody. How we feeling?
Good.
How was the
You just
weekend?
on the phone right up until showtime? You are a busy person.
Well, there's a lot going on.
There's
a lot going on,
I
Al.
love it.
Yeah, sorry.
How
I'm
about you-
here.
How about you down there, Stephanie Jones?
Yeah.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Great.
Is
You're
the
very
reason
sweet.
why maybe because something dropped on Netflix?
Oh, possibly. Here we bloody go, eh?
Should we jump right in? Because I can't wait to get your and Erica's take. So we are getting another look at Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's new Netflix documentary. Harry claimed people inside the palace were leaking stories about him and Meghan to the British press. Let's watch.
It's about hatred. It's about race.
It's a dirty game. The pain and suffering of women marrying into this institution, this feeding frenzy.
I realized they're never going to protect you.
I was terrified. I didn't want history to repeat itself.
So Steph, let's start with you. What did you think about that?
Oh my gosh. Well, one, does it look riveting? Absolutely. Will I be watching? Yes, I definitely will. Do I like it? No, I'll be honest.
Because it kind of tears...
It's tearing the royal family and them even further apart. The divide is getting greater and greater. And let's be honest, for a couple that was so desperate to get out of the limelight, to not have anything to do with the paparazzi, they seem to be lapping it up at every second they can possibly get, don't they?
All right.
Well, I think we have to look at the reasons why they have to tell their story, and the reasons why they have to tell their story is because of the British media and the collusion with the royal family.
But we already know that. They've
Yeah.
already been on Oprah and said that.
So 1 hour or 2 hours of telling their truth on Oprah means that they've completely absolved and neutralized everything that the British media and the royal family has put out there for literally years.
I mean, I think none of it is new. Honestly, I feel like I think if you have a big platform like Oprah, you're going to lay everything out, especially when you've just left. The stakes were so high for Harry and Meghan at that point, and I think they literally went in with everything they had, and I definitely felt for them. It was a really awful story, very similar to Diana, let's be honest, and like they said, the other women that marry into the royal family, it's a very sad tale of like history repeating itself over and over and over again. But I just think if you want to leave and you've told your story in Oprah, I think that should be it then. I think, why are we going through this over and over again? Now that there's a book, which is fine, that's in Harry's words, now there's this on Netflix. I think it's so conflicting. You say you're so desperate to get out of this life, but yet you keep pulling yourself in further and further. And the royal family, it's very much like a popularity pendulum. It swings and comes and goes in cycles of 5 to 10 years, depending like what's happening, you know, who's done what in life. We all make mistakes, no one's perfect. I feel for Harry and Meghan, I really do. I think they should be able to tell their story, but I just think there's certain ways of going about it, and I don't like this.
I see both sides. I want you to speak too, because she's from England, right? So she's got her side, but you want to hear more. You think there's more to be told,
well,
right?
First of all, I think that every human has the right to be the author and narrator of their own story, and however long that story takes to be told is 100% up to that person. When you mentioned that, and they brought up the fact that there were other women who have married into royal family, they were treated poorly, but you also are adding another layer of Meghan being a woman of color and the absolute blatant racism that the British media has absolutely gone out of their way to give to everyone. Now, the reason why I was on my phone when we first started is because there's a clip, a rant that I went on Friday about this particular subject that has gone viral on Twitter.
Of course you were working.
It went viral on Twitter.
We thought you were ordering lunch.
And, well, the reason why, and it wasn't anything that I posted, someone else, and shout out to you, and then a White House correspondent retweeted it. And it's important because there has been a silence, and there has been a code, and there has been a concerted effort in order to make Harry and Meghan look like they are the villains of this story. And the truth is, there isn't. To be quite honest, the idea that Harry and Meghan would be the still top story in the British media, making hundreds hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars off of their names and their backs is laughable with the fact that Prince Andrew, we all know, is a complete pedophile. Allegedly. So what are we really talking about here? So yes, the 6-part documentary is very important. The book is very important. And quite honestly, Steph, I don't think we've heard anything yet. So when this documentary drops, yeah, we will be taking some notes, because the truth is, Oprah, I would be absolutely shocked if that interview even scratched the surface of what they're about to say.
We will see, and I like the little debate. I was kind of wanting to know what's up with Harry now. Is he just totally out? I don't want to keep going, but we'll talk more, I'm sure, about this. Let's move on. Keke Palmer made her hosting debut on SNL over the weekend and put a big rumor about her to rest. Let's watch.
There's some rumors going around. People have been in my comments saying Keke's having a baby, Keke's pregnant, and I want to set the record straight. I am.
Now that's a baby announcement. I like that. Keke isn't alone with her announcing her pregnancy on live TV. Remember when Beyonce showed off her bump at the VMAs back in 2011? She was pregnant with Blue Ivy back then, Al.
Yeah, I don't want to start up any drama, but Keke stole that joke from me. I used to close all my shows, all my 4 1-hour stand-ups with like a little baby reveal. No, I think that's what live television is for. Like, let's stir it up. People can come out and deliver a great monologue, practice it all week, but when there's something unique going on, I know a lot of people like, focus on the jokes or get to the show. But I think when you are the host of the show, you're kind of driving SNL that week. Yeah. And your personality needs to be driving that show. When you kick that off, there's something. Jeff, we are all cavemen and cave women and cave people and non-binary cave people. We all love
Get them all
when
in there.
Babies are born. There's just something about that. When you see new life springing to life, you hear the audience react to Beyonce and Keke. I think it was just an exciting moment. And I think that's what SNL needed.
Well, I also think that it might have been cathartic for Keke as well, because anyone speculating as a woman, when people are speculating on whether you're pregnant or whatever's happening, that's a lot of stress. Because especially before the second trimester, there's a lot of uncertainty that happens.
Yes,
so the idea,
don't even tell people yet.
Exactly, and that's for great reason. So the idea that she's able to own her narrative, I think that's what this age of media is really giving everyone, the ability to own their own narrative.
Yeah. I thought it was cool that she showed her personality right off the bat, right?
First
Bring
of all,
the audience
she's amazing.
in, just like Al said, right?
First of all, she's amazing. It makes her so relatable. She's so happy. She's gorgeous. It's wonderful, beautiful news. But I also understand, must be really hard if you are a celebrity of any kind that has these brand endorsements. But she said she felt like she had to hide it for so long, not necessarily because of how far along she was, but because of some of her brand endorsements. And she's scared she's going to get dropped from lots of them. So she was having to hide that, which is awful. It should be a time of such happiness and joy and celebrating. And she said she was worrying about her paychecks. Who's going to drop me when they find out?
Yeah, who's going to pick her up though? Yeah, there's a lot of pregnancy lines.
Yeah.
I think she'll be fine.
Absolutely. Good job, Keke. All right, coming up on DBL, actor Darius McCrary from Family Matters is telling us some hilarious behind-the-scenes stories during his time on the show. And if you missed it last week, we're talking about the latest on the Balenciaga controversy. That's next.
It's happy holiday season time.
From our DBL family to yours, we want to wish you
a happy holiday season.
a happy holiday season.
Do you guys watch SNL live anytime? Or do
You know what?
always
I
catch
kind of
the-
fell off.
I just watched the recaps.
Yeah.
The best of, if you will.
The sketches, I think, have gone down, in my opinion,
can also
right?
untuck
If
it.
and if there's
I just
someone
like
I think that someone really likes, whether it's Keke Palmer, whoever it is, then you'll tune in that week to see your favorite person. If
Right.
not, I don't know if the sketches hold up as opposed to, in the glory days, so to speak.
It's hard. I mean, you're trying to write sketches the week of.
Yeah.
I wonder if you asked an SNL writer what they would honestly say in terms of almost like a baseball player. They say, baseball, what if you strike out 66% of the time, you're still a Hall of Famer almost?
Yeah.
I wonder if they're like, if we get one good sketch for every 3, that's a win for them, because the ones that do work, you look at the clips and they get millions of
Something
views.
that makes the news cycle.
Right.
I
So
think,
maybe you're just going for maybe 2 great ones, maybe a show, maybe 2 good ones, but it's just, I don't know if you could ever have a show where you're just like, oh, we knocked it out of the park with every sketch. Some just don't work, and you don't know until you put it out there.
Yeah. And then you have a week to shop it, you know?
Yeah.
It's being a comedian, that's tight time.
And you don't know, like something like the Coneheads, like, you don't know if that, you don't know. I mean, we know who they are now, but, like, imagine pitching that in the room, like, okay, they're a family, but they have cones. Like, you don't know until you have to do it. That's the thing with stand-up.
It's all movies that are just crazy and out there, sketches that are, it's like, someone had to pitch that at some point. Like, they had to bring that in a room and be like, all right, I got this idea.
Yeah, I heard Jim Carrey say that he thought Ace Ventura was going to be the end of his career. Because now we love it, but he was like, imagine like your first movie to introduce yourself to the world as a pet detective. Like that movie could have bombed, you know, but like we just know it as like, oh yeah, it's this classic, but that could have been his Bill Cosby Leonard Part 6. Remember that? What a weird movie that was.
Welcome back. There's more to talk about with the fashion house Balenciaga. So as you recall, they got into some serious trouble over an ad campaign, 2 separate ad campaigns, but one of them showing kids with teddy bears wearing bondage-inspired outfits. The brand was also accused of sexualizing children. Balenciaga apologized, but there's still not a ton of backlash. Just this weekend, actress Annalyn McCord and others held a protest outside a Balenciaga store in Los Angeles. Other people are posting videos showing them burning their Balenciaga items, but stores like Nordstrom and Neiman Marcus are still selling their products. So Balenciaga's creative director posted an apology saying it was inappropriate to have kids promote objects that had nothing to do with them. The first time we talked about this, I had a very strong reaction. Take a look. Don't tell me this slipped through the cracks when you're getting a court case that features child pornography. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. Jeopardy's got to flip their whole production because of one person said something, but they wanted to be woke and do all that. How many other examples are there? 10, 20, 30, 40 years we're going back to cancel people? But this slips through the cracks. It's outrageous. And that people aren't outraged and skipping work with their posters and going to the courthouse or going to Balenciaga, and stars aren't wiping their Instagram and social media with all their Balenciaga gear is disgusting in itself. All right, so I went on my rant. I want to hear from you guys too, right? It went viral over the weekend. It was pretty crazy, but shout out to our whole show for letting me speak my mind, because it kind of got a life of its own once it went viral. But shout out to our producers. They let me speak my mind. They let me do my thing. So that was all me, my producers. I didn't get in trouble. I wasn't here on Friday. People are like, he got fired. It's all good. It's all good.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. It kind of got a mind of its own.
I know. I love the behind the scenes conspiracy theories.
It is pretty
it's
crazy.
Hilarious.
Yeah, but I want to hear from you guys, because I kind of did my own thing. I went off. We didn't get to hear from you. We kind of were off different days last week. What do you think about this whole controversy? And still, not that much pushback from Hollywood itself.
Yeah, no, I thought, I already told you, I thought what you said was absolutely a beautiful job, because you were speaking as a parent.
Exactly. No political agenda, nothing else.
It was just how we would speak if we were having Trulies in your backyard.
Yeah.
What just happened.
Yes.
So I think what we're really looking at is there is a lot of scapegoating happening with the brand right now, and one person coming forward and saying, I made a mistake. Now, this creative director hasn't lost his job. People are asking why. To me personally, I don't think it matters if the man loses his job or not, because I think that this is a way of trying to get people to be like, we are taking responsibility, now let's move on. Now, the reason why a lot of people can't move on and shouldn't move on is because they have the actual document of the bill. It's U.S. versus Williams, is it? Somebody correct me on that.
Anyways.
Basically, it's about child pornography, which means that there was a deep dive into this entire campaign. It was rooted in child endangerment and anti-child welfare, and there needs to be more outrage for it. I absolutely agree with that.
Or an explanation.
And you were correct, by the way, with the court document.
You know, I have thoughts, but Steph, I wanted to, you know, what do you think about this? You're very immersed in the world of fashion. Have you seen anything like this before? Like, what was your reaction when you saw this?
I mean, in any type of like art or fashion, there's always going to be things that push the boundaries, that are controversial, that people don't like in some way or another. But this is, it's just so below the belt, disgusting. It should never have happened on any level. And I hear what Erica's saying in terms of Demna, which is the creative director, not being fired, because it's not just him. There's multiple hands that went into that. Like the person who researched and thought, oh, that's a good idea to print out that case and leave it lying out. The photographer who's now saying, oh, I was just hired just to take the picture. Well, it's still your name on the campaign, isn't it? If Demna says, I didn't know, he's the creative director. He knew, he was involved. If you look at any big fashion publication, if you look at Anna Wintour, she'll change a cover maybe 3 or 4 times, costing up to $1 million because she doesn't like how a certain thing looks. So come on, pull the other one. They all knew. I'm just shocked that as a collaborative, creative process, well, I'm sure people did stand up and say they didn't think it was right, but how did that even get out there? When the first draft came through, that should have been completely annihilated, and that person should have been highly questioned. What's your motive behind this? Why are you doing that? Even if you look at the teddy bear, it's a bear with 2 black eyes, and like representing a child that's been beaten up and put in bondage gear. Then you look at the actual documents that are overly publicized in multiple pictures, not just one.
I know.
It's insane.
It goes deeper.
I didn't even know that about the bear.
It goes way deeper, and hopefully this isn't the last time we'll be talking about it. We'll be right back.
After the news of Al Roker, the term blood clot spiked on Google Trends. And these are some of the top questions people are asking Google on blood clots. So we took some of these questions to our experts. Our source is Dr. Shamir Chaudhry, cardiologist at Novant Health Matthews Medical Center, the Mayo Clinic, and Weill Cornell Medicine. According to the Mayo Clinic, blood clots are gel-like clumps of blood. They may cause medical attention if they are in your legs, lungs, and brain. About 900,000 Americans are affected by blood clots each year. One of the top searches on Google, is it common to get blood clots from the COVID-19 vaccine? There was some concern that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was causing blood clots. However, according to Weill Cornell Medicine, among the more than 6.8 million recipients of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, there were just 6 possible cases of blood clots in the brain.
When it comes down to the risk versus benefit, usually no vaccine, including the vaccines for the COVID-19 infection, they are determined safe after rigorous trials, and as such they are not one of the potential causes of blood clot.
So we can verify that no, it is not common to get blood clots from the COVID-19 vaccine. The next question, does vigorous exercise cause blood clots?
Exercise as such should not cause any blood clot. Okay, in no matter of amount, like even if whether it's 10 minutes of walk versus running ultra marathon, it itself does not cause risk of blood clot.
In fact, in order to avoid blood clots, the Mayo Clinic encourages people to move, avoid sitting for long periods, and lower blood pressure and lose weight. So we can verify that no, vigorous exercise does not cause blood clots. With your Verify, I'm Meghan Bragg.
Welcome back. You know him best as Eddie Winslow in Family Matters, and he continues to thrill us across movies and TV to this day. Earlier, we spoke with Darius McCrary about some unforgettable stories with this cast and dealing with rising fame in the 90s. Take a look.
You guys, Darius McCrary, welcome to DBL.
Darius!
Hey!
I think my voice.
So much. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. My voice just cracked because I just knew I was going to marry you growing up, right?
Well, Erica, let me let you know something. I was pleased to hear that you paid that loan back, but I would have wrote a bad check for you, baby. I just want you to know.
Thank you for keeping the show off the tracks, because that's where we start and finish. So let's talk about you, because your character, Eddie Winslow, is legendary. When did you know that Family Matters was a hit?
Well, I mean, honestly, we knew it was a hit from the beginning. I mean, it was Tom Miller and Bob Boyette, and their names are synonymous with so much success, from Perfect Strangers to Laverne and Shirley to Happy Days. So, I mean, we knew what it was going in, and we were the only African-American or black show, should I say, on ABC at the time. The other show that was on television was Cosby, so we knew we had a slot and a shot.
Yeah, well, you guys made the most of it. I mean, I saw you listening to our show in the previous block. You could tell we're family. We spent so much time together, and I can only imagine you know it. Yeah, well, you lived it, man. You were on a show that was like so much like a family that we heard that you actually pulled the dad move with Reginald VelJohnson. Like, talk to us about what happened with the dad move.
Oh my God, Reginald VelJohnson, first off, was just amazing. He is amazing. He's still a major part of my life. And growing up, it was like having two sets of parents. And my mom and dad split after years of marriage, and they're still great friends, and they had a great relationship. But Reggie stepped in, and a lot of times he would check me when I would be out of pocket. And sometimes it was so funny. One of the coolest things for me was when I wanted to impress a young lady, because I still lived with my mama at the time, growing up. I wasn't a scrub, but I was living with my mama.
You weren't in the passenger side, though.
I would pull up at Reginald's house because I knew how to get inside, and he had the most amazing view of Universal City. So I'd be in the backyard, kicking it, chilling, serving champagne. I was drinking age, or maybe not. Reggie would pop in and he'd be like, "What are you doing?" And I'd be like, "Oh, baby, that's just that's just my pops. I live with my daddy. Don't pay him no attention. Hey, Dad. Hey, this is Tasha." I get extra points. She's like, "Oh my God, it's your TV dad. You guys, yeah, baby."
That's what's up. Yeah, you roll with it.
Darius, congratulations on looking exactly the same. By the way, you look exactly the same. But you're still close. You're still close friends with Jaleel White. As his character started to become the main focus on the series, how did you handle that as a young actor, and were you resentful in any way?
First off, Jaleel White is my dog, okay? That is my brother. The only thing that probably would make us closer is if we came out of the same womb. Secondly, when you are on a rocket ship to the moon, you don't care who the pilot is. We going to the moon, baby. So, I mean, success is to be shared, and it's nothing to have success without someone you love to share it with. And I love Jaleel White. Emphatically, we talk at least 2 or 3 times a week, at least. And it was awesome to watch him blossom and to begin to come into his own. And I still believe in my heart of hearts that you haven't even seen Jaleel scratch the surface of what he's really capable of doing. You got to remember, we were doing this as babies. He was doing the Jeffersons before Family Matters. And I mean, I was in movies like Mississippi Burning before Family Matters, which won an Oscar. So it's like, I mean, we just scratching the surface here. And thank you for that awesome compliment. I worked very hard at it.
That's what's up. And Jeff, you did a movie with Jaleel White. You don't even mention it.
I know. You can speak to
Jaleel's my dog, too. Yeah, we did a movie together. We did a movie. Tell him Jeff said what's up.
DBL Nation, be sure to follow Darius on Instagram at Darius McCrary. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Appreciate you. Thanks, man.
Easy, guys. Bye. Thank you.
More than 200 million cartons of Little Debbie products are sold each year. You probably have your favorite, like Swiss cake roll or oatmeal cream pie. But several Verify viewers reached out after they heard the company's sweets are being discontinued. So let's verify. Is Little Debbie going out of business? Our sources are the makers of Little Debbie brand products, McKee Foods Corporation, the Defense Commissary Agency, and an independent check of Little Debbie products at several stores. Little Debbie products were launched in 1960 and are sold at stores worldwide. In the 90s, they started appearing on the shelves at U.S. military commissaries and exchanges, which are stores located on military bases. McKee told Verify it stopped providing Little Debbie products to commissaries and exchanges on September 1st, citing higher costs. Verify conducted an independent check of commissaries in Maryland, Idaho, and Japan, and were unable to find Little Debbie products in stock. The Defense Commissary Agency confirmed it's no longer selling the brand's snack cakes. Little Debbie also recently lost its supplier in Canada and is not actively seeking a replacement. McKee says you can still find Little Debbie products in U.S. grocery stores, adding it has no plans to shut down. So, no. Little Debbie is not going out of business. Sales were only discontinued at military commissaries and exchanges. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
One Verify viewer asked us by text if there's anything they can do to keep their tree fresh. So let's verify. Does adding something to the water keep your tree fresh longer? Our sources are the National Christmas Tree Association and Kathy Crawley, an assistant professor of plant biology at Unity College, who explains the trick to keeping a tree fresh starts with making sure you buy a fresh tree to begin with.
And then when you get it home, make sure you cut off the base of the trunk, just a narrow disc, maybe half an inch, to make sure that the base of the trunk is open and that water will be able to enter the tree.
Okay, but what happens once your tree is set up and decorated? The NCTA says to ensure water is always touching the base, while some websites swear by adding something extra like sugar, soda, and even vodka. Crawley says that can actually do more harm than good.
It conceivably could stop the tree from taking up as much water as it needs if you add a lot of sugar to the water. Truly, all the tree needs is basic fresh water.
So it's false that adding something to the water helps keep your tree fresh longer. Crawley says the goal of the water is to help keep the tree hydrated and delay the branches from quickly becoming brown, dry, and brittle, a potential fire hazard. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. Winter is the perfect time to remodel your bathroom, and getting a new tub is a great way to stay warm during those chilly days. We're talking about it in today's tips, sponsored by Jacuzzi. There are several advantages to remodeling your bathroom during winter. If you're planning to sell your house in the spring, a remodeled bathroom is a great way to add value to your home. Or maybe you want to spruce up your spare bathroom for guests after the holiday, or you just want to have the relaxing master bathroom you've always dreamed of. Whatever the reason may be, Jacuzzi can finally bring your ideal bathroom to life. Jacuzzi offers an unmatched stress-free remodeling process. Visit JacuzziBathRemodel.com or call 800-523-1523. And before we go, guys, some sad news. A longtime former cast member of Sesame Street has passed away. Bob McGrath played Bob Johnson on Sesame Street for more than 50 years and over 40 seasons. His family confirmed he died peacefully at his home. He was 90 years old. He started back on the show in 1969 and was remembered for songs like People in Your Neighborhood and Sing a Song with Bob with the show until 2017.
He's stitched into all of our childhoods.
Absolutely.
Like he's right there, and it's just like that clip is that we're about to show just takes me back. So.
Absolutely, and to work that long on something you love, shout out. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place.
Sing a song, make it simple, to last your whole life long. Don't worry that it's not good enough for anyone else to hear.